Looch on ice, we break it down each week. Puck drops hard, hear the fans all scream. From the highlight reels, we catch every peak. In the fast lane, we live the hockey dream. Stick handling magic, every move's a skill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the Looch on the ride. Feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. Goals and assists, the numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the Looch on the ride. Feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. The numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the Looch on the ride. Feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. So lace up tight, let's roll with the fight. Looch on ice, hockey vibes feeling right.
On 1 second, I had us muted. There we are. You there?
I am there. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. We got.
Sorry, I'm just texting my wife, who took my needle nose pliers to the studio a while back, and never brought him home. And I needed to bring him home when she comes back because I broke my wire.
Oh man, we are back again.
All right, let's talk about more important stuff.
Yes, NHL.
You dad last week. He was here, but you know what? It's just you're gonna have to do it just Looch and I this week, okay?
Yes, it is. We're gonna get into the NHL playoffs. We'll get into the conference finals that are starting tonight. We'll talk a little NHL draft, and I was at the Goodrow 5K also this past weekend, which was a great event. If you want,
I want to hear all about that.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Where do you want to start?
We could start off with the. You want to start off with the NHL draft?
Let's hold that for later. I think,
okay.
Unless you want to. I mean,
it's
up to
you.
Up.
Yeah, it's up. That's good. Well, I guess I can get into the Goodrow.
Yeah, I think that I'm anxious to hear about it. That's probably the more important thing than my thoughts on the draft. So again, I want to hear all about it. And all three of them.
Goodrow, the Goodrow 5K was on Saturday. Unbelievable event. Over 2,000 people showed up out in Sewell, New Jersey. Obviously, we know what it's for Johnny and Matt. This is the second annual event that they had there. Had some NHL guys showing up too to give their support to the Goodrows, to Guy and Jane and the family. Brady Tkachuk I saw there. Tony D'Angelo, both were there last year. Buddy Robinson also.
Buddy Robinson, is he? Oh, because Carolina had a. Isn't he on Carolina?
That's Eric Robinson's. Robinson.
That's right.
That's his brother. Buddy Robinson's his brother. He did have a short stint in the NHL, and then I think he went over and played overseas for a little while. I don't know if he's playing anymore. I didn't have a chance really to talk to him. Everybody just was like busy. A lot of the NHL guys, they stayed on the stage and behind the scenes a little bit. Then they came out later on. I said hello to Tony D'Angelo because I have some contact with him in the past. I've seen him last year and then ran into him at the racetrack and also at the Checking for Charity event. But then I also saw Mike Rupp. Mike Rupp was walking around. He was with his wife and kid. which was pretty cool. He was kind of incognito. I didn't recognize him at first. I said, that's got to be somebody who's big guy and, with the beard. And he had a hat on. He
Good
was
on
with
TV.
white. Yeah. Oh, he did do a great job with that event. I ended up talking to Brady Kachuk, and what happened was I asked him about the Rangers coming to the Rangers, and he was not happy with me.
Really?
He kind of gave me a little bit of an attitude. So what I did was I decided I pushed him, right? And then he socked
Well, you
me.
look good.
He
you don't
did
look
sock.
beat up
He
like
did
we
sock
offered.
me. He did sock.
Oh,
He did sock me in the eye.
oh.
Oh,
It's the
so
AI Looch I'm talking to, and if this really happened.
no, I'm just kidding, man. Really, you
Do
want to?
that.
My daughter did it. She did it for me real quick tonight. She, she's an esthetician, so she does skin stuff. But she did the. I'm going to put up her card later on at the end of the show. So if anybody's in the local area or along the Jersey Shore, you guys could hit her up for facials. She does a great job with facials. She's working in Point Pleasant at the Spell, it's called. Little quick plug for her because she did my eye makeup tonight. I figured you'd get a kick out of that.
That's good stuff.
But
I didn't notice it till you pulled your glasses off.
yeah, I tried to hide it, like with the glasses a little bit. I'm glad you didn't see it right away.
Was Kachuk there? Did you talk to him?
Yeah, no, I didn't get to talk to him. I wanted to go up to him, but so many people were going up to him. Even
Yeah.
like Guy, I talked to Guy for like 2 minutes. Brady was with his wife and his young kid that he was with. He was holding the kid most of the time. I should have went up to him. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, do I? Don't I? Even Guy, I people were talking to him, and I just kind of waited, and then he finally came over to us. He saw us, and he talked to us for a few minutes, and then he had to go talk to the next set of people. So.
Yeah, my rule with that stuff is if a lot of people are talking to them,
Right.
I don't go bother them. If it happens to happen, then fine. But and I never talk about the things everybody else wants to talk about, right? So
Right.
I coached against Lion Messier a couple times, and whenever we talk, we had a good relationship. Whenever we talk on the ice or whatever after the game or at the rink when we see each other, never once have I brought up his dad because I figure everybody does,
Right.
So I ask about his coaching career, him. I don't ask about his dad,
Gotcha. Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Here's an anecdote for you. So back on my Wall Street days, I was invited to a private screening with Shannon Biggs because it was his manager, promoter. He owned the China Club. So we invited to a private screening at the China Club, and there was all these Brooklyn cuisines there, young brokers, whatever, because that's where the guy was from. And who walks in but Al Pacino with two,
Nice.
hot young chicks on his arm. And
Yeah.
he sits, and so it was a theater style. He sits right behind me, right? And I ignored him. I didn't say anything. So all the, the Guidos are coming up. Hey, Al, I love you. Dog Day Afternoon, The Godfather, Paisan. So after like an hour before the fight started, I turned around to him and I said, hey, Al, I loved you in Frankie and Johnny. I bet you haven't heard that very often. And he started laughing. He's like, no, I haven't. I said, well, listen, it was okay. You were good.
Right.
The movie was okay. I'm just bullshitting you. I don't want to be cliche like everybody else. And he
Yeah,
laughed
yeah.
and he said, thank you. And then that was it. I didn't bother him. He sat behind me the rest of the fight, and that was it.
Nice.
Yeah. I said Shannon Briggs, right? Did I get the fighter? It was Shannon Briggs. His
Okay.
promoter. We actually trying to take his company public, and he invited us as a whatever. But anyway, little
Oh, wow,
anecdote for you.
nice. Yeah, I did meet a couple celebrities. One of the celebrities was this guy here.
What's his name again? Don't tell me. There was a great guy. Tell me now. What is it?
Gritty.
What is it again?
You see
Gritty,
it up on
Gritty.
you see it up on the screen, no? Yeah, Gritty.
Gritty has some funny shit on his Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Last week, someone sent me. Was it you sent it to me?
No, I don't think so.
A screenshot of his Twitter post, and it was Gavin McKenna, right? Two roads, right? Maple Leafs or prison, and he was choosing prison.
That's great.
Yeah, he's got some
Oh,
funny stuff, whoever he is.
oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, Gritty was great. Gritty was even though I'm a Ranger fan, I was gonna say that Gritty punched me in the eye. I had a little altercation with him because he found out I was a Ranger fan.
Does
But
Gritty talk, or is he like the Philly fanatic who just like?
nah, he just
pantomime?
makes movements or whatever, gestures and stuff like that. But that's it. But no, Gritty was great. They had the Philly fanatic there. They had Bluey there for the kids. A lot of great stuff. There was a what do you call that when they walk on the stilts? There's a girl walking on stilts with the big
Yeah, what do they call that?
the wings. She had wings and she was all done up in makeup and stuff. It was pretty cool. She walked around in whatever it was, 85, 90-degree weather. And I mean,
Jeez.
walked around everywhere up on the stage and like the whole park. This park is unbelievable. It's such a
Did
big.
you see Gene and Gabe?
Yes, I did. Jane. Yep. Jane and
Jane,
Guy. I
Jane.
saw them too. Yeah. Jane was talking to a lot of people. They were both talking to a lot of people. I was able to talk to Guy for a little bit, and I went and bought his syrup. He makes maple syrup up in Vermont. So they had a little announcement. Hey, go under the tent over there. Guy's Guy's maple syrup that he made in Vermont. And the girl Jillian that I spoke to initially to get Guy and Jane on the show had told me, Jane was going to be the only one on the show, that came on our show. And she says, well, Guy's up in Vermont. He's making maple syrup. I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. So sure enough, they had the maple syrup there, and I went over to the table. I said, you know what? I'm buying this maple syrup. And I bought a nice big jar of it, which I have. I'll pull that up on the screen there.
There we go.
So Vermont maple syrup that he made. He made it. So it's hard to get. I think it's hard to get. I'm not sure. I know they sell it at like events, like charity events and stuff that they do. I don't know if they do like on retail or anything like that. I don't think they make that much. I think it's just a small thing, that he does. He goes up to Vermont for February. I think in February and March.
Yeah,
And,
like a lot of Canadians, because it's on the border there. He has a family up there, I think, or grew up there, or something like that. So,
right. But I tried it last night with a little bit of. First, let me go back. I'm standing at the tent, and me and my wife are talking to the woman that's selling it, and Guy's standing there. I said, Guy, what do I put this on? I think I heard you say ice cream. He says, yeah, put it on ice cream. He's like, it's so good. I'm like, maybe he's just pumping it up because it's his own. But last night, I tried it on my ice cream. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, this stuff is good.
yeah. So what I'm going to do after the show ends, I'm going to drive down to Brick with some. I'm going to buy some ice cream.
All
On the
right.
boardwalk at Jenkins. I like their soft service. They're still open. And have you pour some of that maple syrup on there, and you tell me, because now I'm craving. I want to go climb a tree and get maple syrup from Gaudreau.
Yeah.
How you got me so interested in this now?
It's good. It's good stuff. We'll work on getting you a nice container of it. I bought it. I don't know what size it is. I think it's a quart, but it's really good. So if anybody ever has a chance to taste it, maybe I'll if somebody jumps in a chat or something, and I'll send one to you.
Did you say you're going to the Chowder Cup?
No. I'd send them if somebody jumps in the chat.
Oh, okay. We'll say I got you.
If somebody jumps in the chat and
We'll send the website.
we'll send them something.
All right.
So
Hear that, people?
yeah, all of the 20 people that are probably listening right now
Right.
live.
Who doesn't want free maple syrup? Especially
Yeah.
now that I never thought of putting it on ice cream. Now that I know that, I'm all over it.
Oof.
Of course, I'm trying to lose weight. Thanks, Looch. What kind of ice cream did you have? What flavor?
It was just vanilla. I went with vanilla.
Oh yeah,
Put a little
that's what I had
flaxseed.
in my mind's eye. So perfect.
I put a little flaxseed on it, a little bit of granola. I'm like, I'm gonna make this
Ooh, granola's underrated.
nice and healthy, man.
Wow.
So
Yeah, sure it is.
the ice cream and the maple syrup.
It's like the next day you're gonna have a hangover.
Yeah.
I had 20 vodka and cranberries. This fucking cranberries got me so hungover.
Yeah. Oh man, but what a great event! I mean, you know, it was a beautiful day. It turned out to be. Um, I can't say enough about it. Just a great event. They had dancers there. I think one of the daughters is a dance teacher or something. I think. So I think she may even run a school. A lot of good stuff. Great event. I'm definitely going to try to make it next year. The only problem that I may have next year is my daughter will be graduating around that same time, and she said it's about the same weekend. The other thing I thought was pretty cool. They came up with a great idea for the people who were walking. Oh, I got to show you. They gave out this also,
Nice.
which is the medal for finishing.
So if you
2K.
finish it, you get one.
Yeah, well,
What if you don't finish it?
the 2K, you get all the 2K people got that, and then um, 5K run was a little bit earlier in the morning. I think they were giving like signed autograph sticks to everybody that placed in the 5K run. Maybe next year, if I do get to go out there, maybe I'll be prepared for the 5K because I think Guy was in the 5K. He ended up finishing it, and he was trying to talk me into it when I saw him at Barstool. He says, you could come with me, run with me.
They didn't let him win?
It's a little early for me. Yeah. No, it's a little early for me. Next year, if I get a chance to go out there, I'll probably do a night the night before, and then I'll go in the morning. I'll be able to get there quick because it's about an hour and 40 from where I'm at. So it's a little
Did
bit
you
of
go
a
to
hike.
Dunlop's afterwards for the
I didn't. They had Dunlop's. I think was the night before, and I didn't see that.
Oh.
Yeah, they had
They
some
got
of
good
the
food there.
family and friends. Yeah, I missed that. I think that was the night before, and I saw it last minute. I says, "Oh man, I should have went out there. That would have been a great time, just to chat with everybody." And
Yeah, if you're gonna do that though, you got to spend the night at a hotel. You don't want to drive back and forth.
right. No. I definitely
No,
would have
I've
stayed.
done that many times to the rink in Hollydale when I've been in
Yes.
the morning there 3 straight days.
Right. I would have definitely stayed there if that was the case. But oh no, I was going to say what I meant to say. What I was talking about was the great idea that they had for the 2K also was the medal first, which they gave to everybody, and the bib. They gave you the bib, for the run, and you pin it on your shirt. And they had the numbers were 13 and 21 in different orders. So everybody got bib numbers, and they were basically all the same, except for some of them were 13 and some 13 21 or 21 13 was your bib number, which I thought was great because that's Johnny and Matt's numbers. So I thought that was a good little touch that they had, and it was pretty neat to see that.
Sounds like a great event. Yeah. Do you know how much they raised?
I didn't hear a number yet. I'm gonna hopefully find out shortly.
They raised almost $1 million last year, right?
Yeah, I think they raised more than that this year.
What?
I'm gonna.
What? Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say that they raised more this year because of all of the people involved and the companies involved. Jersey Mike's was involved.
Well, last year the proceeds went to build that park at the school for special needs kids. I don't know if you're still supposed to say that.
Right.
I don't know if that's politically correct, but whatever. I'm not trying to be insulting. Did they say what they're going to do with it this year?
I think it's going to be a little bit of the same stuff. Helping kids that are less fortunate. I did see Guy talking to a family who had a kid that looked like he had some special needs, and he was saying, make sure you keep in touch with me, and that was the people that were talking to him while we were standing there, and I was like, wow, this guy's, he's doing the right thing. He's definitely going to help people out, and I could see it. I just could tell when I talk to him, it's in his heart. You know what I mean? Like just with losing his kids, he's going to help other people, which is an unbelievable thing.
Listen,
So
I think the only thing, great, I don't know how to describe this, so I won't put an adjective. Turning your grief into something positive,
right,
can only help, right? Only
Yep.
help the healing. At least you're paying it forward. Sure, they paid a terrible price
right,
to have to lose
yeah,
two children like that, especially the circumstances and all that.
yep,
You know, but to pay it forward like that, God bless them. They were great guests. I love the interview we did with them. Phenomenal
oh,
people, and so were their sons.
yeah, yeah, unbelievable family. Just a great, great family. I mean, you could just see that they're just so. I don't know how you want to, how
Broken.
well, that a little bit of that too, yeah, and they have their ups and downs, like you would figure, but just great people. I mean, even before the tragedy, they were, just the way they. I think that the maple syrup thing was something that was like a family tradition too. So they would probably go to Vermont. I'm assuming they would go to Vermont. I think I read a little thing about that. They would all go up to Vermont, and that was one of their things to do. Is to make maple syrup, which was kind of cool. Like a little behind the scenes things that the normal regular people don't hear about. Um, what they've done and what they do.
Well,
So,
they raised two great boys.
oh yeah,
Like I said, I never knew Johnny, and I didn't know Matt,
hmm
but you know, all I ever heard was great things about him.
right,
And for kids who reached as far as they did, excuse
right,
me, the pinnacle, um, very humble.
yeah,
Very humble people.
yep. Yeah, so Goudreau Family 5K found, or it's a Goudreau Foundation. Look them up if anybody wants to donate. That would be great.
Yeah,
Um,
Google the Goudreau Foundation or Goudreau 5K, something like that.
yep.
You'll be able to find the website if you want to make a donation or just read about it.
Yeah. Don't
Whatever.
have don't have it up on my ticker right now. I'm looking to see if it's on here. I don't have it right now. I should have had it prepared, but um, we can get to that. I'll try to post that towards the end of the show. If I get a little chance to. You guys are out there. You guys could donate. That would be great. So, moving on, we will. You want to get into some NHL playoff action? We got the
Yeah, baby,
conference.
let's go.
We got the conference finals. We got tonight. We actually have game one, Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Just started nothing in the first period.
Yeah, I have it on the TV here. 3-shots to 3-shots right now. So I think this is going to be a good series. We had talked about this series a little bit in previous shows, and I'm thinking that Colorado might take this. Although we know Vegas has a great team too. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, the list goes on with these guys. But we talked about Vegas. From Mark Stone is out of the lineup for Vegas.
Is he or is he not playing?
I think he skated today, but I think he still missed this game.
I don't look. You and I both picked Colorado to win the cup. They've done nothing to dispel that notion over the first two rounds. They've been dominant. So if there's anybody who could beat him, it's Vegas, right? I think, but without Mark Stone, that's a tall order. It's a tall order to begin with. Without him, he's king.
Listen, Colorado Avalanche are missing Cale Makar. Cale Makar is not in the lineup tonight.
That's the first I heard of that.
Yeah, he's got an injury, so he's not going to be in the lineup tonight.
That changes everything, then.
They did get Sam Malinsky and Arturi Lekkinen back, who were both out, I think, for the last 2 games of the last series. So
I'm looking at this the online stats or whatever.
uh-huh.
He's not in the lineup, Stone, so he's not playing tonight.
Stone is not in the lineup, and I think Cale Makar is definitely not in the lineup
He's not.
either, because he was
Wow.
one of the
How long
ones.
is Makar going to be out?
I didn't read it.
Do you know, hold on. Do you know that?
Yeah, he's a 7 game.
Why? Only 1 game and he can't suit up? I don't want to dog. Go ahead. Sorry.
Who's that? Cale Makar?
No, not Jackson.
Oh no.
I'd love it if Cal Car walked into my kitchen, but want to say hello, Jackson?
Oh man, that's great.
He's
I
too shy to
meant
come on camera.
I meant who was he talking about? Oh man. Yeah, and I'm sitting here talking to
My son-in-law, my future son-in-law, played against Cal McCarr. It's about as close as I've ever gotten to him.
That's pretty good. He came from all the way from Colorado to New Jersey.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
man.
amazing. He's so talented. He transported himself here.
Yeah, right. Oh man,
That's funny.
So,
But anyway,
that was
so
good.
go ahead.
That was good. Yeah, no. Cale Makar out for Colorado, and then like I said, Sam Malinsky and Arturi Lekkinen, which Sam Malinsky's a defenseman, Arturi Lekkinen's the forward on Colorado. I mean, Arturi Lekkinen's a decent player. Let's see where. I think that series is probably going to be. I'm thinking Colorado in. I don't know if they're going to go 6 or 7. I originally said to myself maybe 6, and then I said, I think Vegas is a little bit better than that. Might take this game to 7, the series to 7. So
I can see it going 5, 6, or 7. If it goes 5,
Yeah.
Colorado's going to win. If it goes
Right.
6, probably Colorado. If it goes 7, anybody can win. That's
Ye-
but without
right.
Cal McCarr, that's it. I mean, Colorado's good, but you're talking about one of the best 5 players in hockey. You know,
Right. Yeah.
But listen, Vegas is superbly talented, right?
Oh yeah.
I've been a little down on them this year because I thought they were getting away from their identity by signing all these big guys. But come playoff time, it's worked. A few people pointed out that they haven't really played anybody. That Anaheim and who they played in the first round, I can't remember right now. Who?
Who's that? Colorado, you said?
Yeah, no. Vegas. Who did Vegas?
Vegas. Oh geez.
Getting
Oh
old.
boy. Can't remember. It seems
I
like
never
it's so.
remember this. It was a freaking week ago.
It seems like it's so long ago. Not Utah. Was it Utah? No.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Utah?
But yes, that neither who I picked to win, neither of whom are that much of a challenge for them. But you know what? That's because they're good. I don't buy into that stuff. Well, they're easy opponents. Which really, I wrote a piece on my forum about Mitch Marner answering his critics. The title of it was, for whom don't ask for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee, Mitch Marner. The guy was run out of town because of his playoff performance, which was, to be fair, wasn't great, but it was overblown as well. So during his career with the Maple Leafs, during the regular season, he averaged 1.12 points per game. In the playoffs, it was 0.88. Not what you want from your top liner, but it took on a life of its own. It got ugly. The kid was born and raised there, and they made it so bad for him, they drove him out, which the Toronto media has a history of doing. Just ask Phil Kessel, who they said was overweight, fat, not dedicated. You could never win with the guy. He left Toronto, went and won 3 Stanley Cups, but I digress. So Marner is, cooking at a high late rate right now. Call him playoff Mitch now, why don't we? So,
Yeah.
His detractors in Toronto are trying to, make excuses that they weren't wrong, that, he hasn't played much competition, so yada, 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 whatever. But you got Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, right? How do you say his name? Deverdoff?
Dorofeyev? Dorofeyev?
Who's got like 8 goals. You got Brett Howden stepping up with 8 goals. But you have some superbly talented guys. And the thing about, and Stone, don't forget, the thing about Shady Theodore on defense is shut down defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Eichel, Stone, and Marner is they're all Selk Award winners or finalists. That's how good they are defensively, and they
Right.
can score. So if anybody could shut down that high-powered Colorado offense, and they're deep and they're good, especially down the middle, as we talked about, it's Vegas. Vegas's defense is really good. If anybody could beat him, it's them. And Carter Hart has stepped up
Right.
and played well in the playoffs. We'll see now against Colorado's a different animal. Then everybody, hey, your dog barks right on cue.
Yeah.
He
Right.
agrees with me, obviously. So I can see Vegas beating them. But if we'll stick with our pick, Colorado to the finals
Yep.
in 6.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I'll say.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to go with 6 also, I think. I said 6 or 7, but that game will be in what would that be? That would be in Vegas, right? I think that 6th game would be in Vegas because the 7th game would be back in Colorado. So
And,
they start off
I
tonight at Ball
Sorry,
Arena.
yeah, talking over you.
No, they're starting off tonight in Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Just wanted to make that throw that out.
I want to see Vegas win just for the John Tortorella press conferences of the final.
Yeah, right.
If he
Yeah.
has them. Do you see they got fined $100 grand and they took their second round pick away from him?
Yeah, I never
Ooh,
knew
boy.
about that second round pick thing that they what did he do, something with the press conference?
Refused to meet with the media.
Wow. That's a little harsh, I think, but I
I
guess
think it's a little over the top.
yeah,
But I
mean,
think it's
in the role.
Tortorella. He's been warned so many times.
Oh yeah.
So good. I hate when he misses up. This press conference is so entertaining sometimes. The one with Larry Brooks was classic, the late Larry Brooks. But I want to see it just to see him, in those press conferences. Plus, I like Torts. I would have no issue with Torts winning another cup. Really like the guy. I know a lot of people don't. He has his detractors, but I think he's a good dude.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. I like Torts too. Definitely a good coach, and
I
he
wouldn't
is
want
a
to
little-
coach my team again, but
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
too restrictive. But
We had some issues, and he had some issues with some of the players. I think was that Tony D'Angelo days too.
no, he might
No?
have coached D'Angelo in Philly. But
Okay. Oh, that's
no,
right.
that wasn't towards the end. He was at the Rangers like 5 years or 4 years, and for the most part, the players, got along with him or tolerated him. But towards the end, I think they had a little bit enough of him.
Right.
And then when he went to Columbus, his golden child with the Rangers was Dubinsky. He loved Dubinsky, but they had some issues in Columbus where they didn't get along so well. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Torts is torts.
It sure is. Vegas, like the guys that are leading the team. You mentioned a little bit there with Brett Howden. We had mentioned him earlier in our podcasts. Brett Howden stepping up. With
8 goals.
Yeah, 8
He was an
goals.
overtime winner.
12 games. He's got more than Eichel, who's supposed to be this great player. But, he's still a great player, but sometimes these great players don't perform like they should in the playoffs.
If you look through history, if not 100% of the time, I would say 90 to 95% of the time, when a team wins a Stanley Cup, you get a third or fourth liner who contribute a bunch of goals that you weren't expecting, right?
Right.
In the Rangers, case, it was Matteau.
That's all,
Right?
yeah.
You want to go back to 1979 for your old timers out there? A guy by the name of Bobby Sheehan, who had a cup of coffee in the NHL, but went on a run in the playoffs, scored like 6 goals when they made it to the finals. If you want to go anti-Rangers, really go back, John Druce. Remember John Druce? In the early 90s, scored like 20 goals in 2 years in a row against the Rangers, playing for the Caps. How about Justin Williams winning all those cups, scoring all those big goals? Need a big goal, get Justin Williams.
Right.
So you need goals for players like that.
You know what else? 1 second. Just want to go back. I just thought of another person that was at the Goudreau walk was Blake. Was Niski?
Blake who?
Blake was Newski. He's the one that won the Goudreau award this year.
No, I thought that was
Blake.
Oh, Blake Zelensky.
Zelensky. I'm sorry, Zelensky. I know it was one of those letters at the end of the alphabet.
I wrote about him on my forum 2 weeks ago that he is one of 7 local players that is, ranked by NHL scouting as potential draft picks. He's the highest ranked of them all, and he's got a very accomplished amateur career. He's projected to go in the 2nd or 3rd round. I said on my forum, I think he's being underrated. The kid is delivered at every level, including the USPHL. He was on the All Rookie team last year. He won that award. He's going to get drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round and then head to Providence, next year. I think he's going to have a really successful NHL career, and I think whoever takes him in the 2nd or 3rd round is going to get a steal. Yeah, he's a good player.
If see that, like if Blake, if you're listening, or if you end up listening, sorry about your last name. If you would have, come on the show, I think I would have had your last name correct. So.
His dad is a member of my forum. I will reach out and let him know we talked about it, invite him on the show, and send him the link.
All right. Yeah.
I said really nice things about his kids. He can't not like me, Well,
right.
He can. I mean, let's face it. I give people a lot of reasons sometimes, especially on the forum. But all kidding aside, if you're out there listening, Joe, we'd love to have Blake on. Blake, if you're listening, if you're not, you should be. But I'll reach out to him.
Yep.
Nice. And we have some mutual acquaintances or friends who, I could go to that don't know him as well, right? So.
Gotcha.
All
Yes, so we'll jump over to Colorado. I mean, I'm looking at their stats on their Nathan McKinnon, 7 goals. The next best with goals is Cale Makar, who's going to be out of the lineup, and then Landeskog with only 3 goals. So everybody's contributed on that team basically.
They're deep
as far as goals go, but nobody's really like standing out. Basically Nathan McKinnon, but besides that, everybody else is 4-3 or 2 goals.
Well, that's good. That shows you got depth scoring,
all the way down the line. Yeah, and
can't just shut down McKinnon and Makar and expect to win.
Right. They got Scott Wedgwood over there and Mackenzie Blackwood in goal too. So
Eichel is 3rd in playoff scoring behind Quinn Hughes. I'm sorry, Mitch Marner, 4th. Mitch Marner leads with 18. Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov, who had 15 each for Minnesota. Then there's Jack Eichel. Then there's your boy Tage Thompson right behind him, and Rasmus Dahlin. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, so
gotcha.
Neckish has how many points? Neckish has 10 points, right? Is that what it says? No, 11 points, but 1 goal, 10 assists.
Nacious, yeah.
Nakis, is that how you say?
Nacious. Oh yeah, 10 points, 9 games, one goal.
But he has 9. How many assists do you have?
He has.
What it said 9. But.
Oh wait a minute. Goals, assists. It's hard. That's goals 1, 10 assists.
That's so he's in the top. He's just outside the top 10. He's 14th in playoff scoring
with a +9. Nations.
And then there's Pavel Dorieff with 9 goals. I think he leads all the playoff scorers in 9 with goals.
Right.
Yeah, he does. Right behind him. And guess who's number 2 right behind him? Brett Howden. You didn't give up on him too early.
Yeah, yes. I know. He's playing great.
Been a very good 4th liner for Vegas, who's gotten him 20 goals one year. He might get close to that this year.
Yep.
I mean, they traded Ryan McDonough for him,
Yeah.
17 goals this year, 23 last year. All right, let's not even talk about it.
Yeah, no. We'll move on. You want to move over to the East?
Yeah, baby. Let's talk Buffalo, Montreal first.
Oh, yeah, Buffalo, Montreal, definitely. Yeah, that was a great series. I mean, very evenly matched, 2 evenly matched teams. I would say went Game 7, and of course it went into OT. And Alex Newhook with the OT winner.
First of all, when you get to a Game 7, the home team is usually favored, expected to win, but it's been less and less of that over the years. But when you get to a Game 7, anything can happen at that point, But when you get to an overtime, it's just, it doesn't, it doesn't necessarily mean the better team is going to win.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And kudos to Montreal. I think they were two very evenly matched teams. Montreal made the plays, and congratulations. They got outplayed severely in that game 7. I mean, Buffalo was all over them in the second, third period, even in overtime.
Right.
And Montreal's goalie came up big. They withstand they somehow kept it tied, and they got into overtime and they made a play. So congrats. Yeah. I was watching that game with my son, and I said to him, this game's destined to go to overtime. Even when it was 2-1, I said, this game's going to overtime. Because you could just see it. Those teams are so evenly matched.
Right.
And the other comment I made to him and some other friends is, the world is getting to see how good Rasmus Dahlin is, right? He's been up there in Buffalo. He was the first overall pick. He was considered a generational player, much as a defenseman, much like, I don't want to compare him on that level, but Connor McDavid, Bedard, like a generational player. Well, people didn't know that about McCarr because he got picked in the 4th round. But Dahlin was considered a generational player, Hall of Fame potential, a whole bit, and he's been up there in obscurity in Buffalo, so people don't really they saw in this series how good he was, right? And I just saw his stats. I think he had 11 points, most by a defenseman in the playoffs. Scored that beautiful goal in Game 7, and I thought he was going to score a couple of times late in the third or overtime. Made some pretty moves and got a shot off. Terrific hockey player. Oh, yeah. And Buffalo fans, God bless them. I'm happy for them that they got this far after not making the playoffs for 14 years. Don't despair. Your future is very bright. You still have some good young prospects coming up. Plus, you have a great young team, and you're going to be there. You're going to be right there. Those two teams are going to be rivals for the next 5 years because they're both young, and they're going to be battling each other.
Yeah, and Rasmus Dahlin's not afraid to mix it up either. He'll get in those those tough spots, and he'll rough it up a little bit. And he's pretty tough kid.
Terrific hockey player who had a great Game 7. Really rose to the occasion. Was not afraid. Was not bothered by the pressure. Just, really tried to take it in his hands. And, dare I say, he reminded me of Brian Leach in the playoffs, where he tried to he had that extra little bit, and he tried to make a play or two and put the puck in the net and bring his team, a victory. But he got stoned by the goalie. But he was awesome. Oh, yeah. Buffalo's got a bright future. Zach Benson has made a name for himself. Tate Thompson.
Benson.
Even Buffalo defense.
Shell Samuelson's son, Matthias Samuelson, had a great year this year. Great year.
Local kid from Jersey. Lived in Voorhees because his dad played for the Flyers. Played in the AYHL his whole career. Terrific hockey player. Another local, Atlantic District, Jersey hockey kid playing in the NHL, and good for him. He got an overtime winner, didn't he? Or a late? You get the overtime winner, or he got a goal?
Not in the 7th game. Yeah, I think it was in the 6th game. Was it?
Yeah, he got a big goal somewhere along the line. Maybe it was Game 6. Not sure.
He had an assist in the last game. Let me see. Rasmus Dahlin scored.
A little bit overshadowed by. Let's see if I get that streak of lightning. Hey, God's watching, Luke. That's what that beam coming down. That beam of light is God. He's in here watching.
All right, no problem.
Be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I got to see Matthias Samuelson over at Checking for Charity at Hollydale. So he played in that game, the tournament that they have over there, raising money for Checking for Charity, with the Gaudreaus used to play in. A lot of NHL guys would go to that. I think I told you one of the other shows. Oliver Bonk was there this year. Tony D'Angelo, Matthias Samuelson. So that was the first time I saw Samuelson. He was standing right next to me, and I didn't even know who he was. He was talking to Matthias Samuelson. He was standing right next to me. I didn't know who he was.
He came down for that?
Yeah. He was
on day off.
No. Checking for Charity.
Oh, okay.
Over the summer. No, he was playing. He was playing in the Checking for Charity tournament over the summer in Hollydale last year, not this year. Last year. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in the off season he was out there. So I took a ride out there and saw him. I didn't even know who he was. I never, I wasn't familiar with him. He's standing right next to me, and I'm like, "Who's this kid? He's got to be somebody." It's
hard to recognize I get a lot of kids who play for me, but they have their helmets on all the time, and when I see them, I have a
Right.
hard time recognizing them.
Right, right. And the face looks familiar, and you're just like, who is that? Even with Rupp, I had to like, is that Rupp? I'm like, he looks straight at me, and he's like waiting for me to say something to him, and I'm like, I'm just looking at you, man. I'm just trying to figure out exactly who you are. And I go, and then all of a sudden it just clicked. It was like, oh, it's Mike Rupp. I'm like, I know it's him because Tony D'Angelo was hanging out with him, and then he had his hat on, but even on the NHL Network, he'll wear Johnny Hockey shirt. It says
Is that right?
It says Johnny Hockey on it. So I saw him from a distance talking to Tony D'Angelo, and I'm like, man, that guy's big. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? He's a big dude.
Another guy who wasn't good enough for Ranger fans.
Yeah.
When he was there. They went on to have a great career and been playing 2 Stanley Cup finals, but they didn't like him because he was big and he didn't hit enough and he was soft and, same stupid stuff they say all the time about everybody.
Right. So tomorrow night we got Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricane. That's going to be a good series. They start out at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'd love to get in touch with my brother. He's about a half hour from Raleigh and make a run down there. But I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it could happen. It's about a 7-hour.
Go to drive to Montreal.
Yeah, right. I think I'd go to Raleigh. It's a little bit easier. I have a place to stay.
Yeah, it's probably. Now that I think about it, it's probably about the same.
Yeah.
I drove to both. I drove past Raleigh going to the Outer Banks, and I had to help somebody in the early '90s, a friend of mine, with the furniture show they have in High Point. And I drove to Montreal for a tournament. My son, the one he played with, with Cole Iserman and whatever. So, but anyway, nobody cares about that. What am I talking about? Yeah, go.
No, it's all good. So you want to get into Carolina and Montreal series?
Sure, let's do this.
Yeah, man. Carolina, has the home ice advantage, which really doesn't matter too much in the NHL these days. Unless you're playing against the Rangers, maybe. No. Sure.
You know how I feel about Carolina.
Yeah. Or Carolina. How you feel about them?
Yeah, about Carolina and Brind'Amour. Look, I'm not going to underestimate Montreal. I have in the last 2 series. Look, I think they have the makings. They have all the pieces to eventually win a Stanley Cup. They have the top line center in Suzuki. They have the stud defenseman in Houston. They have the scoring Cole Caulfield, as he's called, and Demidov and Slavaski, obviously, and the depth, and they're going to get better. And I'm not saying they're going to win a cup, but they have the foundation. I just thought they were a little young, so I thought they'd lose in the first round. And
Right.
Then with Buffalo, I didn't pick necessarily against them because I felt the same way about Buffalo, young team, whatever. So I'm not going to underestimate them. But if they win this series, all hats off to them because they're a young team, right? And you know what? As your friend said that a couple of weeks ago in the chat, maybe sometimes when you're young, you don't know you're not supposed to win, because you're too young. But you know what? Maybe they beat Carolina. I could see it. I don't think Carolina is such an overwhelming favorite that they can't beat them. I picked Carolina to go to the finals because I thought after all their experience and whatever, that they would find a way to finally get to the finals. I didn't think there was anybody good enough or on their level to challenge them. I think Montreal can challenge them, but in the end, I'll stick with Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going with Carolina. I'm going to go with Carolina in 5. I think Carolina's just playing really good hockey.
I can see that.
I think they're gonna take a couple at home, maybe. Montreal might grab one back in Montreal, and then I think Hurricanes will take it. I don't know. Maybe it goes a little bit further, but I still pick the Hurricane to win that series. I think Montreal's got a little more time left. Like you said, they're a young team. They are still a really good team. I love Cale Makar. I love that he changed his jersey, Johnny Gaudreau's number 13. So I do have a little soft side for those guys. You know me. I'm a big Gaudreau fan and a big.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I will go on record and say this. Very, and I'm confident in this. I'm good at picking losers, so if you can bear with me on this one. I don't neither Montreal or Carolina. Whoever wins the West, whether it's Vegas or Colorado, is going to win the cup. Neither one of those teams are beating Colorado or Vegas.
Right.
I'll say it right now. That's not going to happen. The media being what the media is. I told you that the Carolinas, they're darlings, and somebody I saw a headline on the Athletic. I haven't got a chance to read it yet. This is finally Carolina's year to win the cup, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Why? Because they swept 2 cupcakes. Please.
Right. Yeah, you got Dobis.
They're not beating Carolina or Vegas.
You got Dobis against Anderson over there.
Yeah. There's been a lot of upstarts who've gotten to the final. Montreal a few years ago, right? And they all lose. They're not beating. Neither one of them are beating Colorado or Vegas.
Yep.
Especially Colorado. I mean,
yeah.
I'll give them maybe this much of a chance of beating Vegas. Maybe this much. No chance.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say they don't even have this much. No chance for either of them to beat Carolina. Shout out to my friend Stephen Davies, who's not watching because he's a Habs fan. He's watching the game, but in case he watches this on tape delay, what's up, Steve?
So,
I wished him good luck before Game 7. He texted me afterwards. You're good. You brought us luck, and I say, oh, yeah, sure I did.
so we are all in on Colorado winning the SC.
That's what we're predicting.
Stanley Cup. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a little, but we did say that in the beginning.
We have from the start, and we picked both picked Carolina.
Yep. All right, so we got like about 10 minutes. You want to get into the NHL draft? Do you have something?
Sure, why not?
I
always follow prospects. It's always interested me.
Yep.
Especially now that the last few years when I know a lot of them, or not personally, but seen them play, or I take more of an interest. This year I'm even more into it because the Rangers have a high draft pick, and I spend months reading the rankings from all the top guys: Corey Prodman and Scott Wheeler, The Athletic, Greg Butler's on TSN, Bob McKenzie's on TSN or the Toronto, and he does it. Craig Button, as I mentioned, I just said, and Elite Prospects and yada yada yada. And I've read about these guys and followed them all year, and especially because of the Rangers. And we'll look at this from the Rangers' perspective. That's right, because this is a Rangers-centric show in many ways. So, as we know, the Rangers got the 5th overall pick. We were a little disappointed that they weren't in the top 2 at least, because the consensus is. All right, so let me take this away. All the guys I'm reading, I've read probably 50 mock drafts, not just the guys I follow, a lot of different ones, and 98% of them, right? And in the rankings, 95% of them, 98% have McKenna, Sternberg, Malhotra, and Chase Reed as the consensus top 4, right? Different order. Most of them have McKenna first, Stenberg second. Some have Reed first, whatever. A couple have Verhoff, the North Dakota defenseman, in the top 5. I'm not a fan of his, but that's a story for the day. So, all right. So here's what I've read consistently over and over in mock drafts and rankings. And, like I said, I read one clown today who didn't have those 4 guys. When I say 4, you got McKenna, Sternberg, Malhotra, and then one of the defensemen, mostly Chase Reed, but Verhoff, a few others have snuck in. And those are the consensus 4, right? As a Ranger fan, what I really want them to have is a shot at a good young center, playmaker, dynamic, yada, yada, yada. Well, I think there's almost zero chance that there's only 2 of those guys in the draft, Stenberg and McKenna, both wings and not centers. Neither one of them are getting to the Rangers at 5. I don't see it unless, I'll give you a scenario where it might happen, but I don't think it's likely. Malhotra would be a nice, prize to get, consolation prize, but I don't think he's getting to 5 at the Rangers. That's the consensus. You never know. So that leaves the Rangers at 5. Where are they going to go? So I'll tell you who they're the most predicting. So first, let me take a step back. This draft is a very, the strength of this draft, especially at the top portion, are defensemen, right? You got Chase Reed, you got Verhoff, you got Daxon Rudolph, you got Albert Schmeetz, all those guys, and you got a few others. I won't bore you. So It's if you want to get that top pair defenseman to build around, right? And you're drafting high, that this is the year, right? So Rangers are drafting 5th. If they don't get any of those 3 forwards, the guy that has been predicted most in most mock drafts is Carson Cartels, who plays the WHL. Out of all the defensemen I've read about, now look, I haven't seen these guys like scouts have. I've seen them a little bit. I watched them a little bit. I watched a lot of video on them. I've talked to a lot of scouts. I've read about him. Carson Cartels is the guy I want. I would take him over Chase Reed, over Verhoff if they fell to him. Cartels is a dynamic offensive player, right? At the same time, he's a mean, plays with bite, mean edge, and he hits you for real. Very physical, a leader. Raiders do very well if they get him, right? Other than those 3 forwards I mentioned, I would not take it. If those 3 are gone, I would take one of the defensemen, because the drop off between the level of Cartels, Reed, Verhoff, defense, whatever, blah blah blah, to the next best offensive forward is big, right? Anybody else at 5 would be a reach, right? I love Tynan Lawrence, who was one time projected to go 1st overall. I don't think it's going to happen now. He's sort of had a rough year, so he's going to probably go 10 to 15. Same with Ethan Bellich, who I like a lot. Klepov. Again, those guys are a reach at 5. Cartels is the guy. I'd be very happy if they end up with Cartels, whatever. So, but I'm going to give you a scenario where maybe one of those guys fall to you, right? First up, we got Toronto. McKenna's not guaranteed. Some people maybe think Stenberg is better, but what's been pointed out over and over again is that Toronto, if they take McKenna, which I still think they're going to take because of the pressure from the fans and the ownership to sell tickets, is, a couple of people pointed out, and they're right about this. They've tried to win the cup with a bunch of skilled forwards, and the people who said they wouldn't win that way said they didn't have enough on the defensive end, right? And they still don't. They've even gotten worse because Morgan Riley's gotten old. Hasn't been good. So there's a big, a lot of people think they wouldn't go wrong taking one of the defensemen and having that stud defenseman and building around them, right? So that's number one. I still think they're going to take McKenna. The second overall pick is San Jose. Greer has said consistently he's going to take the best player available. I think he's crazy if he takes Stenberg, right? The one thing they locked in that prospect pool is that, number one, minute-eating defenseman that you could win a Stanley Cup with and build around. And this is the draft. You're picking 2nd overall. They're not going to be there again, probably, because they're going to be good. This is the draft to get that guy.
Right.
Stenberg might be too hard to pass up, or McKenna, but you have so many talented young forwards. There's not enough ice time to go around. So once you get to a point where you have all these guys, they're not going to reach their potential because they don't get enough minutes. You want to double shift Celebrini, especially in big games. You got Will Smith, you got Lisa, you got Eklund, Quentin Musty. There's another Russian kid I can't think of his name right now. And they're going to throw Stenberg in there too. I wouldn't. Right. I think he's going to go that route. I think he takes one of the defensemen. Right now, if McKenna drops, maybe not. But right. So let's go with the first scenario. Toronto takes McKenna. San Jose takes Chase Reed, right? Now you got Vancouver, who people say they're going to take Malhotra because he's from up around there. His dad is their AHL coach who may be getting the head job. So McKenna's, you're going to have Malhotra there. 4th pick, Stenberg's not getting past Chicago. So again, there's no way for the Rangers to get one of those, forwards or centers. But let me give you a scenario that might change that. Let's say Toronto goes to defenseman. Right? Right, and goes off the board. It takes a defenseman. Well, not even going off the board. There's some that have Verhoff or Chase Reed. Quite a few mock drafts that have them, or rankings that have them ahead of McKenna and Stenberg. So Toronto goes defense. San Jose goes defense. Vancouver takes McKenna. Chicago takes Stenberg. Rangers get Malhotra. Right? One other scenario. Chicago at 4, right? Everybody says Stenberg or Malhotra won't get past them. However, they don't have the stud as defensemen either. They have a lot of good, talented forwards. So maybe they go defenseman and that leaves Malhotra or Stenberg for the Rangers. I don't see it, but especially since they've gotten a lot of heat in that town for not taking Demidov. And it's not second guessing because a lot of people, including me, felt they should have taken him. Instead, they took Lishinov, the big defenseman, who's now he's not bad, but he's not looking like that stud that they thought they were getting,
Right.
which happens all the time. So they're taking a lot of heat for that. So they're going to pass on Stenberg or Malhotra? Probably not. So Carson Cartels are one of the defensemen, Daxman Rudolph, Albert Schmitz. Those are the names that, or if Reed or Verhoff, fall to them, maybe them. I don't like Verhoff. I don't think his skating's good enough. I don't think he's going to be anything more than a third or fourth defenseman. That's just me. I might be wrong. I like Chase Reed. I like Daxman Rudolph. I haven't seen Schmitz, but I like what I read about him. He, played really well in the Olympics, in the World Championships as an 18-year-old, as a shutdown defenseman. So maybe him. And he's got offense to add. He's big. All of them are big, which is good. So who else at 5 if the Rangers don't take Cartels? Like I said, any of the others are a reach, But, the Rangers can't mess this up, right? They can't have another Elias Anderson, or Krasov. They can't go for the home run here and take a shot at some of these guys. They got to go with one of the Cartels or one of those guys. So that's what I hope they do. There's one other wild card thrown into this, and that's Ivan Bork, who plays. He's Swedish. Almost every draft ranking I've read says he is one of the most talented or dynamic forwards, and he's a center in the draft. Many people have him going 10 to 20 or 10 to 15 because he's small. He's 5'10", 175 pounds, and those guys don't go in the top 10 normally. Some people are saying that it's not a problem, yada, yada, others. So now, all of a sudden, Craig Button came out with his final ranking and has him ranked 5th. So that threw everybody for a loop. And there is some buzz around him. So maybe someone grabs him in the top 10 or before the Rangers over Stenberg or whatever. He's got the resume. I wouldn't touch that guy. Maybe with the 27th pick or in the mid-first round, I wouldn't take him. Because it's not just because he's small. The guys who have him outside the top 10 said his skating might be an issue, right? And others think his compete level and his hockey IQ is, will make up for it. But look, you're talking about a guy who's small and can't. And there's question about his skating. I ain't going anywhere near him if I'm the Rangers.
Right.
Rangers can't. Maybe Chicago could take that chance, not the Rangers. So, or maybe Florida. I've seen mocks him go to Florida a lot. So that's a wild card. In a later show, we'll talk about the 27th pick. And what's interesting is it's not a lot of dynamic forwards at the top, but anywhere from the 20th to 90, right? In the 90s, there's some good players there. It's hard to separate them. And the Rangers do have 4 third-round picks, which gives them with the, they have a third round or whatever. That gives them 5 picks outside from 10 to 90 that they might be able to get a couple of good players if they hit it right. So
Yeah, and that Carson Carell sounds like a decent player. I wouldn't mind having him. And he seems like I'm looking at his he's 6'2", 195 pounds, which is a good size for a defenseman. He can still move, and he'll be a good defenseman for the Rangers. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the consensus about him is, different scouts disagree on his ceiling, right? How good he can be. Can he be a bona fide stud first? Because some people think yes, others think no. But I think everyone agrees that his floor is, he's going to be in the top 4 and he's going to be a really good hockey player. So you're taking very little risk by taking him. I wouldn't listen. I wanted, to be in the top 5 or whatever in any draft. So you get that stud dynamic forward or center. That's not this draft. So if we end up with Carson Carels, I'd be very happy. I really would. And if they end up with Verhoff, maybe I'm wrong about him. I don't know. I hope I'd be wrong about it if they end up with him. But I don't know. So,
and the draft, we have the draft. What is that? June? I think it's June 25th or is it July 25th? I think it's June.
Yeah, it's usually not long after the NHL finals.
It's in Buffalo.
Yeah. So Scott Wheeler and Corey Prom are the two of the top, draft ranking gurus, and they on the Athletic. They came out with their mock draft, and they had McKenna first, Reed second, Malhotra third, Stenberg fourth, and again Carson Carell's. 90% of the mocks that I see is they have Carson Carell's, going to the Rangers at 5. And in the 27th pick, late in the first round, I've seen that's been all over the place. Like so many different guys projected. They can get a good hockey player there, the Rangers, and they're gonna get a good hockey player. Hopefully, it's someone who's dropped out of the first round, who was highly rated. Here's one. So the Rangers got what is it? Ryan Robrook. I forget his first name. Who's a prospect on their AHL team. They drafted him 2 years ago. He's a 6'7" center. He projects to be a good fourth liner. Well, his brother was at one time ranked first overall by this beginning of the year, but he had a disappointing year. He's 6'6". He can score. He's got skill.
Wow.
The knock on him is his compete level. He doesn't always show up, and they don't know how he plays with a lot of passion. That's been said about other guys who end up being studs. So maybe he drops them in the second round or late in the first. They take him and he becomes a stud. I don't know. That's what you hope for.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, listen, anything could happen.
If you're listening and you're watching.
Right. So the draft is June 26th. I just looked it up. That'll be the first round of the draft. That's up in Buffalo. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll probably talk about it a little bit next week. And
we'll talk about a lot going forward. But I will say one other thing. There's usually some kind of, even at all the mock drafts, the consensus, the rankings, every year there seems to be something thrown in there that kind of not like Benedict Seneke last year. He was rated 7 or 8. Anaheim went off the board. Boom, got him at 3, and we all agree that's a good pick, right?
sure.
So there's always something like that, right? The Devils taking Nemec a few years ago. Chicago that year, I talked about taking Linishoff instead of Demidov, right? Shane Wright dropping to 4 when he was supposed to be the first overall pick a few years ago. The Rangers taking Crafts off. Elias Anderson. So there'll be something. Maybe somebody will take Bjork in the top 5. I wouldn't. I don't think they, but we'll see.
And I remember the Flyers loading up in the draft too.
They
loaded up in the draft.
Well, last year the kid they took, not Porter Matone, the other kid, his name escapes me right now, was a reach at like 15. But in further shows, we'll talk about some candidates at 27 for the Rangers, who they might look at in the 3rd or 4th round in the later rounds. You're going to get a good look at 5. The good news.
Starting to break up. Are you there? Just lost you, Jeff. If you jump out and jump back in. Let me see if we can get Jeff back on the show. We're just about to wrap it up. I'll give Jeff a few minutes to get back. There we go. You're back.
There's been problems with the Wi-Fi in the area.
Gotcha.
I've gotten 2 messages from Xfinity that they fixed it, but it just went out on me. But I'm back. So.
All right, we're good. So we go with the draft for now. We'll talk about it next week.
For now.
We'll definitely keep it in the conversation for the next couple of weeks. Going forward,
it's fun.
Covering
it's really
NHL.
Fun. You get to talk about your team drafting high.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to bring up one last thing before we wrap up the show tonight. We're going to send our condolences to Jimmy Dowd and the Dowd family with the loss of his mother-in-law, Odette. Lisa's mom passed away, I think yesterday or very recently. I know Jimmy posted something today on social media about his mother-in-law, Odette, who he said used to show up to every one of Jimmy and Anthony's games, hasn't missed a game. A wonderful woman. I knew her very little bit. We grew up in the same development. I would see her all the time, either at 7-Eleven or whatever. I I knew Jimmy's wife growing up in the neighborhood and went to school with both Jimmy and Lisa. So we send our condolences to Jimmy, who we had on the show last week. Um, his mother-in-law, Odette Karuba, just passed away. So I know you know Jimmy
Yeah,
also.
I didn't know that, so thanks for
Yeah.
letting me know, and all the listeners. I'll text Jimmy now, and I never met her. I
Yep.
think I met his mom once. She's still going strong, and she's up there in
Yes,
age.
she is. Yes, she is.
I think she was a
Yep.
single mom who raised him and his brother and by herself, but don't
Okay.
quote me on that. I don't
Yeah,
know for certain. I know he's very close to her.
So we send our condolences to the Dowd family and the Karuba family tonight.
For sure.
All right, so we'll wrap it up. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday at our regular time, 8 o'clock. I will talk to you during the week. You have a
Yep, we'll talk.
you have
Sounds
a
good, Looch.
night and have a good week, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Say goodbye, God. Say goodbye, God.
We are out.
Streak of light is God. So, God's with you. See you later.
All right, we'll see you.